Hello and welcome back to Canadian Boxing Hub. Jumping on today, we've got some exciting fight news for a Canadian heavyweight prospect. Before we get into that, just want to ask everybody that if you enjoy these videos, please like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Yeah, really looking forward to the news we got yesterday from Matchroom Boxing, as well as from Yvonne Michel, is that Canadian heavyweight Alexi Barriere, 12-0 with 11 knockouts, is supposed to be getting back into the ring October 11th on the Guido Ennis undercard. Funny enough, I think the Guido Ennis fight is probably the worst fight on the card. Bit of a mismatch, but whatever. We've got some really good undercard support, though. This will be in Philadelphia. So Alexi Barriere will be taking on Guido Vianello in a very competitive, well-matched heavyweight title fight. I think this is going to be for the WBA America's Continental, whatever strap it is. Not sure about the belt for the fans' sake. Nobody really cares, but for the fighters, it'll mean some sort of official top 15 ranking in one of those sanctioning bodies. And I think deserve it. It's a very good match. Guido Vianello is coming off of a loss against Richard Torres, which was a very good fight. He's only lost 2 other times in his career, one to Efe Ajagba by split decision, which was a bit of a controversial decision, a very close fight where he performed well against a guy who was touted to be, the strong A side in that fight. And then his only other loss coming a couple years back against Jonathan Rice, who I think was always a underrated fighter who never got to put his full attention into boxing, was never picked up by a big promoter. So Guido Vianello has had a rocky, professional career, but he's always gone into good fights. He's shown he's not scared of being the B-side in fights. He's going to be the B-side here, but we haven't seen in the pro ranks, at least, Alexi Barriere fight anyone even close to the stature of a Vianello. His last win was in February against Ubaldo Ilagor from Mexico, who was very game and came and put some pressure on Barriere, but was ultimately dispatched. I think that was in the 6th round. He eventually got knocked out, didn't come back out of the corner for the 7th, I think it was. So big step up for Barriere, who was set to be facing, I think, Ronaldo Hines in New York a couple months ago on the George Kambosos card. I believe that was in June. Had to pull out due to minor injury, I think something with his right hand. But back in and not messing about, straight into a good fight. Of course, he was one of the rumored names to be an option for Dave Allen to fight on the same date, October 11th in Sheffield. Of course, Dave Allen ultimately picking Arslan Bakhmakbudov. And now we see Barriere landing on the same day, but on the other side of the Atlantic, fighting in Philadelphia against American-based Guido Vianello. So very much so looking forward to this fight. I think it's a great matchmaking. It's a bit of, shit or get off the pot for Alexi Barriere. Clearly Matchroom is not going to be matching him easily if they're offering him names like Dave Allen and Guido Vianello. They want to move him up, see what he's made of. And fair enough, I think as a and I'll kind of admit my bias to Alexi Barriere. He's a Canadian charge. I want to see him succeed. And if you think you've got the talent and you want to be successful, I think he's already 29, 30 years old, which of course is still young as a heavyweight, but time to get rolling and get some consistency, get out there, get his name elevated. So I love this matchup, and it'll give us a really good idea of where he's at. I think it's going to be a highly competitive fight, and absolutely don't sleep on Guido Vianello pulling off, I guess, what would be considered a upset. I haven't looked at the betting odds on this if they're out there yet, but I very much so think that this is a real 50-50. Now, I say that I do believe that Barriere's got great potential, but we haven't seen him prove that against anybody that we can kind of use as a measuring stick. So if he goes out there and he knocks out Guido Vianello, it's a real statement, and will really put his name out there on the scene to be getting a fight with a top 20 guy. But it could go life and death with Vianello. He could lose it. It'll be very interesting litmus test to see where he's at, if he's a potential, heavyweight contender for the belts, or if he's, a top 50 kind of heavyweight who will, level out somewhere around this Vianello level. So very happy to see this fight. October 11th is shaping up to be a day that I'm going to quite enjoy watching. I'm, biased as well. I'm a big Dave Allen fan. I'm excited to see him in with viewer-friendly Arslan Makhmudov, who trains out of Montreal, Canada. That'll be a very interesting fight. So, of course, that'll go on earlier in the day if you're watching from North America. And then in the evening, we'll get to watch our heavyweight charge, Alexi Barriere, go in with Vianello and show us what he's made of. So, good day of boxing, October 11th. If you're a heavyweights fan, some of the fan favorites getting out there will be fun to see. Lots of other things moving and shaking after the last couple weeks of heavyweight action with Usyk and Dubois, Adelaide, Hrgovic. So there's been a little bit of movement. I think it's got some permutations, of course. Everybody's talking about Moses Atauma and what's next for him. Hearing that Jermaine Franklin will be fighting on the one of the cards the weekend of the Canelo-Crawford fights. So good to see that another kind of top 50 guy will be getting out. We haven't heard much from Jermaine Franklin until his name's now been mentioned with Atauma. So hopefully we see a little bit more movement, what's going on with all these guys that are vying for that contender status. Hopefully we hear something about both Caballel and Parker, because it seems like two of the best heavyweights in the world are just kind of sitting on the shelf right now, which you never want to see. But exciting times for heavyweight boxing. So let's see. I'm going to go out very early prediction. I'm going to put my fandom of the Canadian heavyweight on the line and go for Alexi Barriere by unanimous decision over Vianello, or a late round stoppage. I'd say rounds 8 onwards. So I guess we'll see if this is a 10 or a 12 round fight, because there is a belt on the line. So we'll see what that works out to be. But exciting news. So excited to keep an eye on this. Good luck in the training. Hopefully everybody keeps healthy and we see this one go off. So let me know what you guys think. Is this a good step up? Is this maybe too much too soon for Barriere? Do you tip Vianello to win this and move on? And what would you like to see for some of these guys that are waiting in the wings and looking to get some matchups? I might do a video here right away. I've kind of gone through the top 20 heavyweights and done a who should fight who next. So that might be a bit of a fun exercise of guys who are waiting for fights. Take a look at who would be a good matchup for them. I think we are luckier than we tend to realize in terms of the depth of the heavyweight division. Of course, we've got a couple talents who are far and above the rest, but we've got a lot of very good level operators right now, and it creates for some nice matches. Even Hrgovic and Adelaide delivered, although I think Hrgovic dominated basically every round except the 8th and maybe the 2nd. It ended up being an entertaining scrap. So there's just so many different fights out there that you don't even expect to see guys in, and can work out to be a pretty entertaining and exciting fight. So let me know what you guys think. What's the #1 heavyweight fight you'd like to see that nobody's talking about right now? What do you think of some of these matchups coming up? Allen, Makhmudov, Barriere, and Vianello. Who do you tip to win? Like, share, comment, and we will see you guys next time.